Paragons are a staple of Bloons Tower Defense 6, which is the latest addition to one of the most popular tower defense game franchises of all time. If you look on speedrun.com, you'll see a few categories, like fastest time beating easy mode or fastest to get 100,000. But this video is about a category not on the leaderboards that has had almost no time in the spotlight. Over the course of 2 years, a small handful of players have tried and tested many different strategies to lower this world record as much as possible, bringing it to near perfection. This is the world record history of the earliest Paragon in BTD6. But first, let's talk about a few things. First of all, what is a Paragon? Well, in BTD6, a Paragon is achieved by maxing out all different upgrade paths for a single tower. After this, the Paragon, which is a very expensive upgrade, is unlocked. Paragons are meant to be a strong late game tower that isn't meant to be obtained early on. They were released in the game's 27th official update, along with boss balloons. Secondly, which Paragon do we try to get? As of recording, in update 45, there are 8 Paragons currently in the game, but obviously we only need to focus on one, the Apex Plasma Master, which is also known as the Dart Monkey Paragon. The reason we can focus on this Paragon and ignore all the rest is because it is a lot cheaper than the next cheapest Paragon. Sitting at $127,500 in easy mode, this tower is arguably the Paragon to go for, since getting it early requires less farming than the other Paragons. However, keep in mind, this Paragon used to cost a lot more. Finally, what defines a record in this category? To get a record in this category is fundamentally different than the fastest Paragon category listed on speedrun.com. Getting the fastest Paragon means achieving the Paragon in as little real time as possible. Meanwhile, getting the earliest Paragon means achieving the Paragon on as early a round as possible, regardless of time taken or speed. For example, a player could get around 70 Paragon in 20 minutes, but another player could get around 65 Paragon in half an hour. The round 65 took longer, but purchased the Paragon on an earlier round, so the round 65 player would be considered superior. This category is classified as earliest Paragon round NPG, aka no powers glitchless. Powers are useful items purchased in the main menu that can give a significant boost to your defense or assist in popping the balloons. Powers will not be allowed in this video. As well as this, no game-breaking bugs or unintentional strategies overlooked by the developers are allowed either. And finally, with all this idiotic explanation out of the way, let's get into the records. The earliest records set in this category are pretty hard to pin down, since a lot of different YouTubers got them to fight the boss balloons, but so did thousands of different players. Technically, the first record would be the first player to get a Paragon, which is almost certainly a developer at Ninja Kiwi. However, I don't think my YouTube channel is large enough to actually ask that information from Ninja Kiwi, so we're just going to look at the first run that was set exclusively for the sake of this record. This record is the first in this category, set all the way back in 2022. The player to achieve this was Chom Chom. Chom Chom's world record video was featuring him trying to get a Paragon before round 60. He did indeed succeed and got the Paragon at the end of round 55. This is our first record on the list, and it's definitely the most known record on the list, with the video having over 100,000 views, and was by far the earliest Paragon achieved by a long shot. The reason that the round was 55 and not earlier is because, once again, the Dark Paragon costed pretty much twice as much, but it was also round 55 because it was completed with the unusual but effective strategy of using Druids of the Jungle surrounded by farms while stalling the round with a combo of the Glue Gunner and a Ninja Monkey. The Druid of the Jungle has an ability where it gains money, but this is amplified when there are banana farms surrounding the tower. Chom Chom had beaten the odds. This kind of round had never even been seen before. Surely after this amazing and viral video, the community would try to lower the record, right? Wrong. This is the only known legitimate record ever posted to YouTube in the entirety of 2022. For almost a year after the video went up, the category was quiet. Chom Chom was alone on the leaderboard, and nobody even paid attention to the earliest Paragon. Well, one thing did happen. And it happened when update 36 rolled around, with one of BTD6's most game-breaking glitches ever. Suddenly, the category was about to get a lot more attention, but in a bit of a weird way. If you've been in the BTD6 community for a while now, almost certainly you've seen the videos on YouTube talking about the Chinook glitch. There are many videos saying how we get 39 Paragons and a VTSG before round 40. The boss event that week was completely and utterly demolished, as players simply denied the first few tiers by getting a Paragon. But how did this incredible farming strategy even work? Well, the fourth tier of the middle path heli pilot was called the Support Chinook, which could move around towers, blow back balloons, and it had an ability that generated lives and cash. However, ability usage was limited to 3 minutes after the round had started, and there was no way to stall for that long before. This is where the game-breaking factor comes in. By positioning a X4X helicopter at the very beginning of a track, and a balloon gets blown back at the beginning of the track, something incredible happens. Its data is saved as a living balloon, but it's not technically on the track yet, meaning it can't be attacked by towers. It was a little unreliable, but could be made more efficient and safe by upgrading to a bottom path cross path. This could stall around for infinity. Suddenly, players had access to a farming strategy that was both incredibly easy to understand and replicate, and unbelievably powerful. There is only one farming method that has been rumored to be better, but let's just focus on this one for now. Of course, players achieved so many early Paragons in this period that it would be impossible to pin down the earliest. However, since the early Paragons achieved in this period were obtained using a broken and unintentional farming strategy, none of the records set in this period would be counted. But this farming strategy will come into play later, so keep it to the side of your memory for now, because we are about to take a look at the records of the biggest loser to compete in this category, Bruzzzio. Around Halloween of 2023, Bruzzzio saw Chom Chom's record video in his recommended feed. He watched the video and was impressed by the potential of his farming strategy. Bruzzzio had tried this off camera, but despite his best efforts, he was only able to achieve around 60 Paragon with central markets. But since update 39 had come out a few months ago, the FX Plasma Master was about half the cost it used to be, meaning that if Bruzzzio applied the Druid strategy, then he could destroy Chom Chom's record. So he started doing attempts, and he released a video in November, showcasing him lowering the record by 5 rounds, getting his Apex Plasma Master at round 50 using central markets to farm. However, Bruzzzio did not post one record in this video, but 2, and the second one had beaten Chom Chom's record by an astonishing 10 rounds, purchasing the Dark Paragon on round 45. This was a monumental achievement at the time, and the video would have been well respected if it wasn't recorded on an iPad. However, this record, just like Chom Chom's, resulted in nobody else actually trying to beat the record. But 9 months later, starting on the 31st of August. The earliest Paragon had a revolution, because in the 2 weeks that followed, the record was not broken once or twice, but 5 times. The new earliest Paragon set in this week was by Bruzzzio again. He switched farming strategies from spamming Jungle's bounties to spamming support Chinook. The strategy had been legendary back at update 36, but now with the infinite stalling patched, the Chinook strategy was considered dead. That is, until a player by the name of The Steel released a video detailing how the Chinook farming strategy was still extremely overpowered. Sure, you couldn't stall for infinity, but it was still possible to stall long enough to use every ability that is available per round. The Steel started with a banana farm, worked it into a monkey bank, and bought a support Chinook on round 25. Stalling with glue gunners and a permafrost ice monkey, he used every crit available, buying the second Chinook on round 28. From here it was the stalling game, as the Steel snowballed his money until he had enough to buy a Paragon, but instead kept going until he had amassed over $650,000 on round 40. Using this strategy, Bruzzzio lowered the record from 45 to round 36. This is the first time a Paragon had ever been purchased before round 40. What usually happened when a record was posted was the Paragon was purchased earlier, people watched the video, and nobody tried to break it until a few months to a year later. But this time, when Bruzzzio woke up the next morning, he saw a new comment on his video, saying that the world record had already been broken. This new record holder went by the name Orange Bloom. He had taken the Chinook strategy and optimized it, starting with Benjamin instead of a banana farm, and using a X5X sniper to get money instead of a Chinook at first. This method got the first support Chinook at round 25, just like Bruzzzio, but Orange Bloom had an elite sniper tier 5 and an X4X sniper monkey already placed down, which meant that the farming could progress a lot faster than in Bruzzzio's run. As well as this, Orange Bloom stalled more effectively than Bruzzzio did, and with all of this combined, he purchased the Apex Plaza Master on round 30. The congratulations were pouring in. Nobody had even expected to have the world record beaten less than a day after it was set, but against all odds the world record was broken again the very next week, because the 4th player to set a record in this category has just entered the arena, and his name is CrewLostFan164. Crewlost released his first record on the 8th of September, which consisted of the same strategy that Orange Bloom's used, except the key difference is that Crewlost pushed this method to its absolute limit. The reason that this broke Orange Bloom's record is because when buying the first support Chinook on round 25, he had 3 sniper monkeys down instead of Orange's 2. With this very slight optimization, Crewlost lowered the record to round 29. This was astonishing how crazy the rounds were getting. When Paragons released, getting one before round 60 was a rare sight. When the Dart Paragon got cheaper, buying it before round 50 was possible but rare. Buying it before round 40 was unheard of. And here Crewlost was, buying a Paragon before round 30. Now, in the video, Crewlost said that he bought the Paragon after round 29 had ended and then exited out of the game. However, his computer ran out of storage, so he went back in to record himself purchasing the Paragon. However, if you exit out of the game and re-enter, the game displays the round you're about to play instead of the round you just finished. As well as this, all the money collected from the crates after the round is not saved if you exit out the game and reload. So the footage of Crewlost's run is of round 30, but we can verify that he probably bought the Paragon on round 29, since he both had enough money to do so, and his towers were in the exact same spot with the exact same amount of pops. So this is counted as round 29. 2 days later, Krulos uploaded unedited footage of a run that got a Paragon on round 28. But unlike the latest records, Krulos didn't use the support chinook strategy. No, he used the best, the most optimal, and the most annoyingly difficult farming method in the entire game: the IMF loan. The way the IMF loan works is it has an ability to generate $10,000 out of nowhere, but you will put $10,000 in debt. While in debt, half of all money made will go to your actual account, but the other half will go into paying off the debt. There's no way around this, and once the IMF loan uses its ability, you can't use the ability again until the debt has been paid. Selling the tower wouldn't work either since the debt stays. However, you are given $10,000. With that money, you could sell the IMF and get down another one. The entire tower does cost more than $10,000, but by using the ability then selling the tower, you would have made money. Doing this over and over until you have many IMF loans on the screen is pretty much how the strategy works, but the reason people don't use it is because it's slow, it's complicated, and it takes a lot of work to pull off. However, it is the farming method with the highest skill ceiling, and it makes the most money. By using this strategy, Krulos pulled off the round 28 Paragon. Surely this is the end, right? No, because there is one more record in this video that Krulos set. Because on the 12th of September, Krulos fan 164 made history. In this run, Krulos started with Benjamin into Sniper Monkey with the intent of stalling as long as possible. Getting the first IMF loan on round 20 and the second on round 21, Krulos had an amazing run going. The amount of farms only increased from there, with Krulos having up to 8 on round 24. Even with the college level debt, selling the farms now could give him over $40,000. But he kept going. By early round 26, Krulos had 13 IMF farms. And exactly 14 seconds after hitting play on round 27, Krulos fan 164 placed down the Dart Monkeys and upgraded to the round 27 Apex Plasma Master. Five days later, Orange Balloon replicated the run, getting around 27 Paragon as well. And that is where the record stands today, with Krulos and Orange both holding the record for the earliest Paragon in BTD6. They both got a huge shout out from the famous Bloonstuber H-Bomb, who dedicated a whole video to highlighting their achievement. Bruzzzio never got a shout out. Loser. Now, the only question left to ask is if around 26 Paragon is possible, since Krulos was just one ability cycle away from achieving this. In theory, yes, but this would require either absolute perfection or a tool-assisted speedrun. Now, this is not a speedrun, but maybe, if one day farming gets optimized enough, around 26 would be possible. Thanks for watching.